You are listening to the Old School Movement podcast with Daz, Chris, and Steve. You understand?
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a brilliant guest on today's show. We've been trying to pop and lock since we first saw him in Breakin, as we know it's breakdance in the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Michael Boogaloo Shrimp Chambers, aka Turbo, in the house.
Old School Movement is breaking it down with all the MCs in the UK. You know what I mean?
Turbo, dab.
Right, how you keeping, brother? How you keeping? You good?
On the real, thanks again for your patience because, I mean, of course, we live in a time where technology is really, you're a fossil or you're lost in translation.
It's taken over.
Use devices. And so I am definitely one who's slowly growing into technology, but I have to admit, the best thing about this is God has blessed us with being able to communicate, even though we're all on lockdown and quarantine.
Other side of the world.
You know, and what's beautiful, when you ask that question, it's like a deluge because there's so much deep meaning in everything these days. And so when you say, how am I? As long as we're alive and we could breathe, and then we have good people like yourself and family who loves us, words can't express it and money can't put a price on it. So on that, I'm very thankful for my health, my loved ones, for you all, this platform, and your patience. You know, I mean, right now, in just a few days, because you guys are from across the pond, we've accomplished what a lot of people have failed to do by not only bridging gaps from across the pond, but showing mutual respect, being different nationalities, and showing harmony. And so for me, everything that I'm doing and we're doing is a testimony that we do have a creator. So it builds my faith. It builds my faith to see real men doing real things and positive, you know, that don't reflect the drama that's going on television, but it reflects a peaceful humanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Well put, man.
So we're going to talk about the old days. We're going to go back old school.
Blink on it, Mike.
And we're gonna have some fun reminiscing on the old days.
What was the first move that you learned? Like, what was it? The backslide, the moonwalk, or a bit of a backspin? Or
you ready?
Go on.
How to behave when my mom said, "Be quiet."
That's the main move you need, man. That's the main move.
Stop it! Oh. No. Well, as a kid, I learned discipline. When your mom and dad speaks, you have to be attention. You have to behave.
Definitely.
So I was a noble bloke before I started dancing. The first movements that I learned while I was learning discipline was the robot.
Yeah.
I put two and two together because I was almost like an intern of myself. It's like I enrolled in the Boogaloo Shrimp School of the Arts. I was trying to find the best me. So instead of bragging rights, I didn't have video. I just had me. It's all theater. No, but look, I just have me and my shadow, right? So the thing is, it's ghetto fabulous, right? It's all theater. It's all theater. The thing is, I started looking at my competitors and all the dancers, Soul Train, everybody. And I was like, what is going to make me original? And I got it. I was watching television in the 70s, and the thing is, the Bionic Man, Ray Harryhausen, Clash of the Titans, Sinbad, and Jason and the Argonaut.
Yeah.
So when Ray Harryhausen started introducing that movement, it was a no-brainer. Once the science, once the techno music, the Moog, Roger Troutman and Zapp, Parliament, Funkadelic,
with the
all
vocoders,
that electric stuff, Malcolm McLaren, Hobo Squad, blah. All that electronic music translated to me because I was doing lyrical. I was interpreting that music. So when I was dancing, I became a robot in real time. I became my own CGI character. I was looking at the anatomy of the beats and trying to interpret the music like a jazz dancer. Like people that jazz dance and ballet, they understand lyrical and point. Yes. I enrolled in the Boogaloo Shrimp of Arts, And I was studying myself, trying to perfect it. And I came to, in my studies of my own dance, I was like, I understand the robot. The robot from the 70s was very slow and very just kind of boring after a while. Yeah. But Ray Harryhausen robots were pretty much, I mean, those visuals, you know, were just amazing. Everything that I was studying got me a job.
So how did you get chosen to be in Breakin? How did that come about?
I was a talented bloke.
We know that.
So you know what? There's a movie, yeah. We need a few talented blokes. What about that guy? No, seriously. So we're picking up where we left off.
Yeah.
So I'm dancing with the biggest entertainers on the planet in the music industry. Yeah. Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie at that time, they were the biggest. And so the word in Hollywood resonated. These are the guys, if they're good enough for Michael, they're good enough for anybody. Get them. So I remember at the end of Lionel Richie's concert, which was a big deal. Now, I have to drop this bomb. Now, ready? Sheila E., Prince's ex-girlfriend, was Lionel Richie's percussionist.
Right.
So while we're on tour, the whole world was looking at that tour and all these artists because one day we're backstage just before the talent agent came to give us a script for Breakin, and this guy shows up. We're like, what? He's like, I'm not.
Prince turns up, yeah. Prince turned up.
He shows up because he's dating Sheila.
That's right, yeah. At that time.
So he's backstage, and he didn't do Purple Rain yet. Purple Rain came out when Breakin came out. So the thing is, I had a pre-Prince. These guys were all around in our camp.
Yeah.
So of course the whole world and a lot of media was coming to Lionel Richie to see like, okay, what's going on, right? Because he was top of the pops, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the thing is, this talent agent, Von Hart, he was a really nice Jewish talent agent. He came backstage, he goes, young man, can I have a word with you? I'm not a schmoolik and I'm not a mutt. He goes, I'm a professional and my name is Von Hart. Here's my card. So he gives me his business card and I'm like, wow. He goes, check my reference. I'm the real deal. Because the thing is, we were street people and he was an executive and he knew trying to talk to somebody to sell himself to a street person, it may fall flat. And he's an agent. So he's like, look, check my reference. I'm the real deal. So I'm like, okay. So then after we talked, I did check his reference and he was part of the children's division of a very reputable talent agency.
Right.
So once he got a commitment from me, and that's most talent agents, they're not just going to give you a job. You got to sign with the agency. After Lionel Richie's concert, he came backstage. We agreed. I signed. And the next thing I know, Shabadoo got the script because Shabadoo was represented by the agency. He didn't know that I got signed. So that was even a double whammy because now we both were part of the same talent agency.
Yeah.
So they brought us in and they said, look, we got 2 scripts. There's 2 movies. They're doing a movie called Body Rock and they're doing a movie called Breakin. And they said, we would suggest for your longevity, young men, they told us, we would suggest that you take Breakin because it actually gives you a lead role and a chance to be actors in scenes as opposed to just dance. So it was a no-brainer. If you see the movie Body Rock, it flopped because they had Lorenzo Lamas from Renegades, you know, as Silky Chili D or Silky, I think it was Chili D. He's dancing in the role Shabadoo would have been in, and his little sidekick really wasn't in the movie that much.
Right.
So the thing is, we chose Breakin because that was an actual film, and it let me flex my comedic timing. Yeah. Most people don't know this, but I was never an actor. I didn't go to theater, Stanislavski or Stella Adler. I wasn't even accepted in some of those theater classes. Yeah. It's all theater. No. Those guys are great.
Yeah.
Give me monologue. I want it bigger, more. Those guys are funny. It's all theater. No, those guys guys are funny, but yeah. I was never an actor. You know, the Meisner technique, the method. Come on, people. I was never that guy.
Yeah.
The thing is, they were like, but he's funny. So they figured out a creative way to help the movie move. And the thing is, once we go out in that audition, the writers were like, the only way we could really make this a real movie is that they got a guy with a tape recorder and they followed us around when we were having lunch and when we were having conversations to get what we would normally say to each other. So the writers were like, this is normally what they would say. Yo, fool, no fools out.
These street people.
What you looking at, fool? They made it real. They made it real because they followed us, right? And then they were like, look, let's just let Turbo, let Boogaloo do what he does. And basically, they put me in situation scenes. So everybody on the set was like, look, I wonder what he's going to say now. Because that was all improv. They're like, okay, look. They're like, Boogaloo, look, you're going to go to this event and they're high-class people. They're going to diss you. How are you going to come back at them? So it's a scene where I'm looking at the food, right? And the lady goes, oh, who's that? It's one of those young men that break. He's like, oh, look at it. I think that's one of those break dancers. And I say, yeah, I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
How about some pig cheese? Sick, man, sick. All that stuff, improv.
Wow. So, Michael, when you were sweeping outside, whose idea was it to bring the magic to the sweeping and the whole?
Well, for the record, it wasn't magic. It was actually me goofing off as a 16-year-old kid. I was dancing while we were rehearsing, you know, at Debbie Reynolds' studio.
Yeah.
And all the people, I mean, you got to remember, look, I'm a 16-year-old kid. So when the cameras are not on, what do 16-year-old kids do? You goof around, you make jokes. I make fart sounds, you know, and you just be a kid, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, jumping jack flash is a gas. You know, so everything that kids think are funny, it was funny. Well, check this out. A janitor, because Debbie Reynolds, like maintenance, she was already a celebrity, so her studio was very clean. So the janitor left a broom there. So I'm just messing around and I was balancing the broom on my hand. And the director and the writers, everybody was looking at me. I was like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? And they're like, no. But they were looking from a camera standpoint. And so the director was, as I was messing around, he's doing this, setting up the shot, right? You see where I'm going with this? Yeah. So next thing I know, everybody was whispering and their eyes got really big. Next thing I know, this was all off page. So my point is this: that scene resonated so big that people were just like, okay, this is a loose homage to Fred Astaire. Yeah. So for me, when I did that, it was all off page, and I didn't even know, but the studios were rushing like crazy. After I was messing around in that studio, it just seemed like the energy was like, okay, we got a new scene. Let's go. So, right? All this chaos. Up until the scene, and it's true, up until that scene, the movie was just another dance movie. The club's the same thing. But because it was distributed by MGM did very big Hollywood musicals. The thing is, and that's Hollywood, right? Royalty. MGM distributed this film. So they were like, okay, now we got the guy from West Side Story and a loose tribute to Fred Astaire, we got something. So the thing is, everybody was pushing that scene as a Fred Astaire loose tribute without disrespecting the jazz community or Fred Astaire's community of dancers. Because you got to remember, there was a segregation with dance. You were a street dancer, a break dancer, or a jazz dancer, or on point. And even auditions and cattle calls, they brought the lead dancers in, and then the street people were like just a few seconds. So street people always had the leftovers. If you look at the TV commercials, music videos, they weren't the stars. It wasn't like the Step It Up movies. Street dancers only had a little. Look at Flashdance. Look at Flashdance. In Flashdance, the star of the movie didn't even dance. She was just doing stuff. No, it's very true. So the Hollywood had a discrimination against freestyle. So the thing is, they were like, okay, in the scene where Jennifer Beals breakdances, they put Crazy Legs from Rocksteady and Drag.
I heard that,
Hey, a job's a job, right?
No one knows.
So for the people who know Beat Street, like Beat Street, hey, yo, let's Beat Street, let's serve it, right? They was there with the sneakers, Crazy Legs, right? Sky's the limits. Crazy Legs, the most famous b-boy on the planet, before
After
Beat
yourself.
Street, he thank you. He took that job, and they're like, okay, we know who you are. We know you're down with the Boogie Down Bronx, but we're gonna put you in drag. He's all okay. One singular sensation. I got a job, and all that jazz. So no. He was the first. He's the first breakdancer in drag, and you know what? He sold it because that scene was like the that thing took the movie. That was the outro of the movie. When that Irene Cara song, what a feeling! Like whoa! Right after that, the movie's over. So the thing is, for me, when I look back at all that glory, Flashdance had that glory scene with Crazy Legs in drag, and then all of a sudden, the movie Breakin', when that came out, they were rushing to get the same box office numbers as Flashdance, if not close. And when I was messing around, they said that was the scene. This is coming not from my ego, but from the heads of the corporate
No, it's
world.
true. Because we all talked
They
about that
said
scene.
that broom scene saved the movie, kept bringing people in it, became a topic of conversation on the streets. People were like, dude, you got to see this movie. They're like, no, forget Beat Street. If you like, and let me back up. Forget Beat Street, they said, from the breakdancing standpoint. They said for the breakdancers, Beat Street is a respectable movie because that was East Coast. That was the East Coast, and that was the most amazing b-boying ever on screen. But for popping and what I did, which was not breakdancing, people were like, nah. If you want breakdancing, go see Beat Street. If you want to see straight up popping and a theatrical piece, go see Breakin'.
No, you're right.
People literally were saying, no, you got to see this movie. There's this guy sweeping, and he does a whole number, a janitor number. So the thing is, when the studios heard the buzz, they came to me, and I was like, oh no, I hope I don't owe them money, because right after the movie came out, and we went to the Cannes Film Festival, right? So we're at the Ritz-Carlton. Now I'm a dignified bloke, right? I used to be on the streets, so now I'm on an airplane, and I'm on the French Riviera. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a dignified bloke. I'm over here with all the people. I was thinking, excuse me, do you have any Grey Poupon? Oh, what? Can we be on the mall to have tea? You know my language. Excuse me. It's all theater. I became a theater guy.
Yeah.
And like, sell it. It's a movie festival. Sell it. Do it, kid. I'm like, it's all theater. No. I remember coming out of the balcony at the Ritz-Carlton, and I had a Johnny Mathis moment. Look at me. My hair, I had a Jerry curl. I had the suit. I thought I was Nat King Cole. Unforgettable. Mona Lisa may have named. Oh no. Yeah. No, I went totally European. I was like, I am black. I am in Nice at the Cannes Film Festival. Eartha Kitt, welcome to Timbuktu. What do you do? C'est bon, I became international.
Into that,
Theater.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Because breaking and breakdance, and that was all part of the 80s. That's a big point of the 80s. That was our 80s.
Every kid our age has done that with a room. Every time we had to sweep up, we would be going around.
We would be doing all that, trying to pop, trying to lock.
For me, it was the culture shock because I remember when we were promoting it in London.
Yeah.
And I don't know the name of the hotel, but I remember we were coming out of Heathrow into London and Piccadilly Circus, and we did a show called Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
We did Top of the Pops, and they asked us about body popping and stuff. But after, I was really shocked to find out how hip, how fab the UK was, because
London's good. Yeah.
people were coming out and saying, yo, man, you guys got to come to the Hippodrome. So they were giving me tickets to the club at Hippodrome, right?
It took over in the UK. It really took over, man. Because Turbo, the thing is, it became so big that our school had a breakdancing competition.
All the schools,
and
a lot of the schools.
Me and Chris were in the competition, and we watched your movie and was inspired.
Yeah.
And we came fourth in that competition. but we was inspired of all you guys and what you guys done in breakdance. Because the scene where you have the second battle and you're coming on to do your moves and Ice-T doing this 1, 2, 3, 4. Go on, everybody, get on the floor. Cause Turbo, and when you come on, it's amazing. But like, Turbo's doing his prance, he's gonna bust his moves. But it's always looking to see you do your moves.
Yeah, and what you were wearing as well. You know, Nike owe you a massive favour. Nike do. We all wore
Nike,
Nikes,
like the Nike wind
the wind cheaters,
the trainers,
the backspin,
the headbands.
I have to share this trivia with you since I know that those Nikes and some of the sweatsuits that I wore in the movie. If you really think about it, I was trying to show respect to both coasts. I mean, I was very, very, very conscious about the responsibility of the hip hop elements.
Yeah.
Even before it was defined hip hop. If you remember when they had VHS cassettes, you could go into Blockbuster Video, and when you looked under Breaking or looked for the movie, it wasn't in the hip hop section. It was billed a musical.
Really?
Turner Classic Movies called Breaking a musical. MGM put out dance musicals. So for the record, it wasn't underground. It was not an underground labeled hip hop movie,
No, it was not.
which makes it even more important because for the industry to recognize it as something higher than club or street cred, that set the bar for other people, like the Step It Up movies and all that, to have a dignified place in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Modern day Breakin' that comes out after Breakin'. Now, Turbo. Now, breakdance, as well as it being a film about the art of breaking, there's also a love romance going on between Ozo and Kelly. And we was always thinking, but where's Turbo's time? When's Turbo gonna have a girl? And when we saw Electric Boogaloo, it was worth the wait, Turbo. Because she was one of my first crushes, man.
Right.
Damn, Turbo.
Please tell me you dated her outside of filming that.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be very honest. What's really interesting is because I was underage and I was respectful. You talk about things
Sabrina.
that meant to be. That girl in the movie's best friend, I'm with today.
That's wicked.
That's a wild story because back then while I was doing the movie, she told her friend, say, "God, you know what? Who's that guy?" And so she had a picture of me on the dresser, and about 7 to 8 years ago, we met again through a mutual friend. So this is us today.
Oh, that's wicked.
That is mad.
Nice.
Right?
Love that.
Yeah. Wicked. Nice.
So we used to love that chicken. And we used to compare girls. Is it as good as the girl off of Breakdance or off of Breakin'? You know, she was. She was.
Well, for me, on the street level, I didn't even realize that, while this whole black and Latino thing was happening, that a lot of the black hip hoppers, they were tripping out because it was at that time, it was me and Prince. I mean, when this guy had Apollonia, and if you look at Prince and the Revolution, and I mean, if you remember Purple Rain, all that swagger, he had a Latina from the streets, and so the thing is, and that movie came out just before Breakin' 2. So when the producers and they said, okay, Turbo's he's going into his man and he's gonna have a girlfriend, they're like, well, it makes sense because if I'm in the neighborhood, it's gotta be somebody from the street.
Yeah.
So once again, the streets of LA, right there's East LA and then there's South Central, where Ice-T and all Ice Cube and all them, South Central. Make it rain, make it bang. Everybody in the hood saying, bump it, skip, coming again, come on, bing, bang, bang. I mean, that whole LA West Coast, so broad, whoop, whoop. That whole hard LA, that was on the other side of town. But where Breakin' 2 was filmed was East LA, everybody side, like, I like it. Carnitas and guacamole, nachos. Chalupa, she's like, I like it.
So that means if your girlfriend now was friends with that girl, can you get us that girl's number?
We waited 40 years, man.
You know what? She's very happy being out of the spotlight. Her friend, my lady told me after all that, she just bowed out gracefully And it's, you know, I mean, she has a life outside of the showbiz.
Yeah.
Same thing was with Lucinda. Everybody was looking for Kelly. She, you know what? She didn't make a living off hip hop just because she's a mom. You know, she married the guy from the TV series Survivor. So Lucinda and I, we still talk, but yeah, Sabrina, she doesn't want any of that attention. She wants to be there. But like I said, I didn't realize how much that resonated to the African American community, because back then we were still peeling off the layers of the 70s. Things were still segregated. You people, you know, the blacks were on Soul Train and the Latinos were Cholo. You know, everybody was segregated. But that movie,
was bringing
if
it
you
together.
look in the background,
definitely.
we got the new wave people. They're like, yeah, man, like Bill and Ted's, like totally, you know. We had the British, and we had the whole British, the British, the West Enders, you know, like you all, you know, everybody was hip. Top of the post, you know what I mean? Fat 581, bit him on the side, you know. Fuck the Casbah, the Czech Republic, it's cool, man.
And you had Jean-Claude Van Damme as well, man. You had the muscles from Brussels.
So you had a certain Belgium.
Yeah, the muscles from Brussels. He goes. You know, so yeah, that was we found out later that was an international culture shock, almost like the hip hop Woodstock to the world, just because Beat Street was totally New York. But somehow or another, our film resonated in the world because people could identify it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
That's what made it so popular.
And it's a good example for today because, you know, a lot of these kids of this new generation, especially with COVID and all the chaos that's on the news, I really like going back to the hip hop form where we're at right now, just because you guys are across the pond, but yet the young people that listen to this, their minds are more open that through music and through culture, we're all the same. You know, we all do this. And God gives us gifts, but how we share it is up to us. Some people are like King Solomon, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. But the thing is, when you share your blessings, you get them back. And so for me, I'm glad dropping knowledge and showing harmony, because it's really not about you or me, it's about all of us. And if we can inspire people while they're all, you know, they're all mentally, you know, looking for an escape, then let it be, you know, because it still edifies the creator. You know, it's like we gotta use our gifts to say, hey, you know what? It may be COVID, it may be this, but guess what? You got your music and good vibes, you know, and just keep it moving.
For real. Talking of sharing, Michael, let's put it straight now. You've heard the rumors have been going around. Did you teach Jacko the moonwalk?
The one of many steps. I'll make this very short. What's really good about that situation, everything is documented. So when we go back to me being that little kid on Lionel Richie's tour, when he wrote We Are the World with Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson's dance was not at the same caliber as the Dangerous tour. And so his solo, what I'm getting is his solo. So the thing is, when I work with that man, what came out of those lessons, everybody's seen, because every single time he came out doing his solos, people were like, dang, where did he come out? Behind the scenes, we had worked out enough for him to get the foundations of my animation and of my style to be able for him to say, okay, when it's time for me to solo, I could do jazz, I could do Fosse, or I could do this. I mean, he was drawing from all these different people, but the good thing about masters of any style is that if somebody was taught by Janet Jackson or Paula Abdul how to dance, you would be able to see it in their students. So the thing is, by me not saying anything, but the rumors are, I think he did work with Shrimp. The proof is in his movements.
You can see it, the backslide, the circular backslide, it's that.
Well, yeah, it's not, you know, but like the original answer to your question, did I teach him one step? No, I taught him a style. That's a lot more than one step. And if you really think about it, not only was he doing the circular thing, but his connecting with understanding how to be a popper. The whole thing about freestyle, when you see kids on the street, is they just come up and they improvise their moves. Michael did not know that until he got with me. And the thing is, if you look at his productions, he did choreography, But without all the other dancers, his solo was the thing that I love, is just because he just started learning how to pop. I mean, he could make up he literally was making up his own moves.
Yeah.
You could see it was
Oh yeah. Massive, yeah. Chaco.
How did that come about, Michael? How did you meet MJ? How did that all work?
Well, to be really honest, Lionel Richie, and I have to say thank you to Lionel Richie and his management, because I mean, come on, we were just blokes from the street break dancing. Yo, with the sneakers, on cardboard, the concrete. And people kept saying, you know what, you ought to do something with your talent. I mean, because we were around street gangs and a lot of stuff, but people that had a moral vision of us, staying out of trouble, they used to say, hey, you know what? If you guys keep this up, you can actually make an honest dollar. So I was just looking to just stay out of jail and not sell drugs and just do what I can as an African-American bloke. So the thing is, I was like, okay. So as I started navigating my journey with dance, I met Adolfo, the late Adolfo Quinones, Bruno Falcon, who was in Captain EO and Smooth Criminal and on Michael's tour. Yeah. And when we started working together, we started auditioning. You got to remember, that was at the beginning of MTV. So if you look at MTV videos, MTV was hiring everybody, the average person off the street. You signed away if you want to be in my video. So those videos were guerrilla, but in all that chaos, we got jobs. So think about it. Lionel Richie doesn't dance. So they were saying, hey, Lionel, you got a good song. Breakdancing is happening. Get some breakdancers. We weren't breakdancers because I'm not breakdancing in the video, but when we came in the audition, they labeled us as breakdancers because of the success of the movie Flashdance. So we learned how to breakdance once we got the job. No. Well, society doesn't go on the hood. Society markets. Society knows the stock market. They know, what can you do? Give me 15 minutes. I want to sell Mrs. Cobras, Mrs. Bernstein. Get these kids on Broadway. Everything's big, right? So you have a few seconds to sell it. So they sold it as breakdancers, and we embraced it because it came with a paycheck. But once we got the job, then we went back in. We started going to the floor and said, yeah, I'm a breakdancer. Because the employers were not disappointed. They're like, yeah, they're typical. I even have my attitude, my stank face. You're not a break. Wait, you're not really from New York flavor, the hip hop elements, if you got your stank face. then I have my New York accent. How you doing? Yeah, how you doing? But basically, it was a take on Sylvester Stallone. Hey, how you doing? Boogaloo. I was hoping to Apollo.
Hey, yo, Turbo, do crazy legs, man.
I was from New York because I was an actor. I was like, hey, I'll break dance for you, Mr. Richie. Boogaloo. Look at my name at the time, Boogaloo. So so I got the job. And we didn't even realize that Michael Jackson was watching from a distance. If anybody knows anything about Mr. Jackson, he was always researching and studying for the next thing. So he was writing the song, "We Are the World, We Are the Children." He was writing that song with Lionel. And as they finished it, they were trying to figure out how they were going to get all their celebrity friends in one room. Well, that was easy. American Music Awards. Lionel Richie won awards and Michael was up for a music award. So when they were there, the story goes, they got all those artists after the show to go into Quincy Jones' recording of We Are the World. The rest was history. Well, check this out. I was there when that happened. I was on tour with Lionel in the mix like a black Forrest Gump. I'm like, I think they're going to write a hit song. Much respect to Tom Hanks. Forrest Gump ended up in all these historical places, right? I always thought I was Bubba Gump's cousin by way of Decatur, Boogaloo.
And he sold shrimp as well.
Got the shrimp.
I was in the shrimping business. My name is Boogaloo Shrimp by the Bayou. So I was like, they joking in Memphis, mama. That's what they do. Look what they did to him. So I was like, okay, I'm a black Forrest Gump. I'm here. Lionel Richie and Michael are writing We Are the World, American Music Awards. Everybody in the industry is in this room. And my little black self is right there, slip sliding away with the king of pop. I'm like, how much better does that get, right?
Nice, yeah.
But here it goes. Here's the payoff. All that glory and all that stuff, I mean, that was historic. Michael seen me on a dignified job instead of dancing on the streets, because him and myself and Bruno, we met him before that happened, and I worked with him on the Victory Tour. But that was like in and out. You're just a little peasant, get the glove, get out of here. So the thing is, go and scat. But later on, I was working my way in the business. I ended up landing a job with his co-writer, Lionel Richie. So now Michael looked at me like, oh, snap. If he's good enough for Lionel, he must be good enough for
something about him.
Yeah. I like that guy.
Now I was a player in the industry because
he was there.
I wasn't that famous, but Michael was a very smart man because he learned as much as he could before he took off into orbit. And I say that because I was practicing with him, and so was Bruno Falcon, before the movie Breakin. So when we did the movie Breakin, we were the hottest dancers on the planet, the all-styles dancers, not the hottest breakers, but Breakin established us as the hottest all-style. We did all styles. So the thing is, had Michael employed me after that, then it would have been like, oh, Michael Jackson learned from Turbo, and it was never that. As a matter of fact, I kept, out of respect to that man and his family, you didn't hear me going to the press. I could have. You didn't hear me on Geraldo Rivera or Sally Jess. You did not hear me. There's no footage of me going, guess what, people? People, attention! I'm Turbo from the movie Breakin. Remember, I used to sweep. I got Michael Jackson. It's all theater. I want my money. I need my money. Oh my God, I'm somebody. You never saw video of me doing that.
No, but we saw it now.
No, wait, look. Can you imagine? I'm all dressed up and all the paparazzi's like, okay, I'm like, attention. Look at me. This is my moment. Give me one moment in time. No. The thing is, I'm not that guy.
Nah.
No. I would have been wrong, right?
It would have been.
What was really cool, that shows how much heart I had.
Yeah.
Because while everybody was taken from this great man and his family, I was like, okay, you know what? The Bible says don't covet somebody else's riches. If you like what they have, go and work for it. Get up and get out and get something, right? So, and that's street cred, okay? If you got heart, you don't look at another man's stuff. You work for it. If you got it like that, whatever you get yours, but don't take his. So I had that mentality, and I'm like, okay, you know what? More power for you, brother. I go back and I think about my work with Michael Jackson. I asked Michael Jackson this very question. The last time we worked on Do the Bartman, which he wrote the song for Do the Bartman. I said, Michael, from 1983 to 1990, that was a lot of years. So I asked him, I said, Michael, what do you think about MC Hammer? He goes, when Michael was going to tell you an answer, he laughed. He goes, well, he sells records, but his dancing's sloppy. I go, are you serious? He goes, yeah, he sells records, but his dancing's sloppy. He goes, you won't see what he does on Broadway. I was like, you know what? He was right. So look, no. So the Kid and Play, the MC Hammer and Bobby Brown, he wasn't impressed by that.
Okay.
Because that wasn't Broadway caliber. That wasn't Bob Fosse. That wasn't Martha. That wasn't great. Yeah, it was a freestyle. Oh. So he was correct because after he said that, he made me a better person as a choreographer because I was dipping into other dance stuff.
So all the dance routines in Breakin and Breakin 2, were they choreographed by you and Ozone?
And Shabba, yeah.
Never! No. Now here it goes. Ready? Here's the trivia. Before the movie, we were all on tour and we were working together. Look at Shaka Khan's video. You'll see Electro Rock in Shaka Khan.
Yeah, feel for you.
Look at Lionel Richie's video. They're in the background.
Yeah.
So we had always done routines together. When we got the movie, the executive said, damn, we got the best of the best. Let's separate this group and make them battle themselves. So we were like, what? They go, no, you got to battle your own friends. I'm like, all right. And if it comes with a paycheck, you're mine. I got to take you down. I'm going to feed my family.
Yeah.
You know, no. So I'm going up against Poppy, Pete, and Bruno, who were my friends, because it was a paycheck. I had to. They made me.
When it fit with the storyline, it made sense.
It fit with the storyline, and there were no ill feelings. It's all good.
Of course, it's all good. Yeah.
No, that was a serious competition because they were at that caliber where people were like, I don't know. You know, people were like, they got you this time. That was a battle.
Yeah.
That was a matter of fact, I heard from the East Coast, the New York City Breakers and Rocksteady, they were all friends anyways. But when Harry Belafonte cast Beat Street, he got the best of the best. That was you know what? I have to give it up for New York. That was the best battle had ever been on screen.
Yeah. That's when everybody talks about Beat Street, it's that scene. It's that
man.
That's the battle
when
scene.
they go into the Roxy, yo, Beat Street, let's serve these fools. People were rewinding that battle forever and learning. That was like, I mean, back then there were no b-boy dance schools. There was nobody teaching. So people were like, dude, I got to get that movie. People got the movie Breakin, and they got the movie Beat Street. If you wanted to learn popping, there goes your demonstration, and there goes your instructional right there. Matter of fact, the only R&B singer that ever told me the truth, and it's very true, some people lie, but the one that told me the truth was Genuine. When Genuine came out with None of Your Friends' Business, he goes, Terrible, I rewinded your movie, man. Because Genuine did my broom. He goes, dude, I did your moves. Matter of fact, I walked up, I was invited to the Grammys, the Clive Davis after pre-Grammy party at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And I walked in and Usher was standing right there. I said, hey, Usher. He goes, yeah. I go, you the man. He goes, my brother, you're the man. I told my manager, I go, did you hear what Usher said? Usher Raymond's a serious dancer. But for him to say I was the man, I was blown away because I was like, wait a minute. This is a young African-American man who's like on top of the world on the charts with all of his songs. I mean, this guy.
And he saw you. He was inspired by you.
Yeah. For me, those kind of things really showed how much respect the industry.
Of course, yes. You're part of 80s American culture, man.
People that make comments that are not into your work, that really didn't matter to me. But to be able to be respected by your peers in the business, you know, usually you look at the Emmys or the Tony Awards, those other artists that are up for the same category, they cheer for the people who won because that's their brothers or sisters in the arts. So to have musicians or artists respecting my work, it's like, wow.
Amazing. Yeah, you deserve that.
You deserve it, definitely.
Anybody growing up in the 80s and 90s knows Breakin and Breakin too. It's standard. So do you still teach now, Michael? Do you still teach people?
Of course. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up because I want to make sure to send you guys an email of my new class. And matter of fact, my teaching, for the record, it's not your 5, 6, 7, 8. It's often no. What I do like a dance tune-up because I know that there's people that have dance skills, and I find out beginner, intermediate, advanced where they're at, and you know we get a chance to jam, but I let the person move the way they want to move. You know, I mean, I'm not a stickler or perfectionist, but if somebody wants to lose weight or somebody just wants to let their hair out and burn out some calories for anxiety release. My class is open for that, where I do those kind of sessions where, you know, we put on some music and we jam, but I do like an assessment to see where the person's at so that I can bring the best out in my students. Usually when the student says, hey, you know what, I'm having this party, I want to move, I let them bring in their music. Next thing you know, they're like, you know, I wonder why. She's the greatest dancer. It's all theater.
Have you heard? So back in Breakin and Breakin 2, they're excellent soundtracks, you know. And it was the first time we were hearing Kraftwerk, and even though they're a German band, it was the first time kids in the UK were hearing these artists. Yeah. Did you hear any of that music before, or was that all?
Of course.
Yeah.
The way that this is exactly the way that soundtrack happened from the owner of Polygram Records, Russ Reagan. Russ Reagan said, who he had already did Polygram Records. He had a share in the soundtrack for Flashdance, I think, and Saturday Night Fever. So he already knew dance music. So Russ, the owner of the company, told me the best way that they were going to pick songs for that movie, they all went to the clubs. They had A&R people back then underground listening to the streets, right? Yeah. And so the thing is, Kraftwerk had music out in the 70s, Trans, Euro, Express, they have a song called Numbers. Uno, due, tres, cuatro. So the thing is, those songs, even the barcades, Freak, Shout, Baby, the barcades have been around for a long time. So they were playing dance music at the clubs. So Art of Noise, beatbox. Yeah. A lot of those were underground crate DJ music. So Russ Reagan, he said, dang, this is really what people are listening to in the clubs. So the thing is, that soundtrack, that's why that soundtrack was really, really cool, because he got the real music from the streets. And then they hired Ollie Brown, who went on to produce the group The Jets. Baby, I can rock it to you. The group The Jets, the Maoris from New Zealand, from Tonga. When they came out, when they first came out, right after Breaking 2, the same people who did There's No Stopping Us produced that group, and they had hit. I think they had Rocket to You and they had Curiosity. If you listen to those songs, it's the same beats from Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of people don't know that trivia.
Right. But the nice thing is about when Breakin' first came out, when the movie came out, people went to see it in the movie theater and so on, but also bought the soundtrack album. So it works both ways. Yeah. People enjoyed the movie and enjoyed the soundtrack. You know? Yeah,
and you know what? Still to this day, now that vinyl's popular again, people are going back to try to find that kind of music.
I heard that on one of my favourite scenes, the revolving room, when you're walking up the wall around the ceiling, I heard that was a set that you borrowed from Nightmare on Elm Street, which they were shooting in the same studio.
No. That was a rumor at the time, because when I did that film, a lot of people, the only thing, that movie, Nightmare on Elm Street, and was popular at the time, so people were like, I think it's the same room. So that rumor was from that, because that was on the screen, but it had nothing to do with the horror film. That room was the same room that was used by Fred Astaire in Royal Wedding.
Yeah, no, I like that scene works.
Because as a dancer, that was before all the tricks that we see now, with CGI and the LED lights. That was a really cool camera. It wasn't an illusion. It wasn't magic. Really good. That was a cool take on just cinematography. So, when we talk about cinematography and cinematic and creative editing, that just goes back to the people behind the scenes of film,
Yep. That's true, man. And you had the most beautiful girl walk into the room and see you up in the ceiling. I don't want to come down. That scene.
I love that scene.
Theater. I have to say, thank you, Old School Movement podcast. Thank you guys for this forum, because since Shout Factory and the movies came out on Blu-ray and DVD, there's been a lot of activity in the UK, and I respect all my UK fans and people who know the.
You got lots here. You got lots over here.
I want to make sure they know. You know what? I'm trying to share more of the man who I am today, to let people know none of all those credits have gone to my head, but I like sharing, and I'm an educator, so that everybody that love those films, or anybody new and to dance who want to learn, they can know that I'm a dignified and respectful speaker. On that premise, I'm trying to not be in the Olympics, but be a commentator.
You've got
get
to be,
some of that attention.
That would be amazing.
You've got to be involved somehow.
You deserve to be. Yeah, you deserve to be part of the. You've got to be
involved in that.
Breaking.
You've got to be. You've got to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, man. Yes, thank you, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, man. Come on, man. Turbo.
It's been amazing.
Always the brilliance. Fab UK, they're like, yeah, for sure, yeah.
We've been watching your moves for years, man. We've been practicing your moves for years, and now we're talking to you. So it's an honor and a pleasure, brother.
Unbelievable.
Old school movement in the house, baby.
Wicked. Yeah, man.
Wicked. We love that. We love that.
Peace. Yeah, that was Turbo. Turbo
Man,
lads.
What a chat. What a chat. Mate.
So,
That's crazy.
I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time, thank you guys for listening as always. Old School
We'll be back.
Movements out. So I'm Mr. Lucas.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Stacks.
Till next time.
Peace.
Those were the days.